Okay, here we go. I can show them how to do it when I'm in the zone. Before we start, let me puff that indigo. If I thrust, guaranteed you gon' feel it though. My intro for this real shit. When I walked the bridge and we built it. Two hoes got the boy on kill cliff. My team good and we rollin'. It ain't really hard to see that I'm fresher. I'm a F5 with Brock Lesnar. We ain't got time to listen. Yo, lecture. Let him put the title up and I get your bitch. Ask me, never made up.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy, Dead on Dave, coming at you live from Germany after that Monday Night Raw house show, basically coming from Glasgow, Scotland. Yeah, this was recorded a little bit earlier tonight, so spoilers were everywhere and people knew what was going on. But that doesn't mean the show was necessarily bad. I mean, there were definitely some points, some long stretches during this show where it was, yeah. And the main event, the ending was, the best part of that main event. Now, I didn't mind the main event. I'm going to get into exactly why I didn't hate the main event in just a moment. But there were two parts of that main event that I absolutely loved. One was the guy getting his sign ripped up by Kevin Owens and freaking out afterwards. That was amazing. The second was the pin. Not because of the happenstance pinfall. No, because of the happenstance pitfall. That's right. Kevin Owens taking Chris Jericho to Pity City. And look, coming from a fat guy who kind of has a Kevin Owens vibe himself, you don't want to be anywhere near that pit situation. I pity poor Jericho. I do. Overall, the show, I think, was more misses than hits. However, there were a few things in it that did work really well. The biggest thing was the crowd. The crowd was into it like it was a house show. They really did take over most of the night. Multiple segments were hijacked, which I'm normally not a fan of. But I feel like so much of the thought process was so bland and boring tonight that I didn't mind Glasgow just getting involved and taking that shit over. Which usually, if you're a fan of this show and you know me, I typically don't like that. I don't condone it. But tonight, I gotta say, I kind of dug it. I kind of dug what they did. They just took it over and said, no, this is ours. And I think on a night like this, they kind of had to. It was a night where they were building Survivor Series, but they built all three matches in the exact same way. Let's put all of the team into the ring, and we'll bring out all the members, and we'll give them all a moment to have a reaction and everything. It was just too much. There was just so much tonight that just seemed to go on forever. But we're going to get into everything. We're going to go through it segment by segment. We're also going to take your calls, your questions, your comments, concerns, hopes, dreams, loves, likes, minor little nitpicks, and major psychotic effing hatreds, everything you got, and so much more right here live on Dead on Dave Productions. And I cannot wait to hear from you guys. But that'll be a little bit later on. Let's start with the beginning, because that's where most good stories begin. Excuse me while I put this graphic in there, because my stupid slideshow was being a jerk. It was being a jerk. But before we really get into the main crux of this show, let's go ahead and give a big old shout to everybody who's chilling, hanging out with ya boy live on this wonderful Monday evening. The election eve, which, by the way, I'm going to be live for the final tally of the presidential election. We're going to be talking about who the new president is. Hopefully people are going to be having some voices, some opinions on it, and we're going to get it all right here. But that's tomorrow. Big shout out to Daniel Price, Sleeping Angels, Casey McLaughlin, Chris Putros, Katana Punzal, Josh Lyons, Gun Cannon, Terry Snow Queen, Daniel Price said, Casey McLaughlin, Sarah Smulls here, Tambo Computing's here. We got a whole bunch of good people hanging out with your boy, and we're going to get into some Monday Night Raw now. Let's start at the beginning, like I said. Show kicks off. You got all five guys in the ring. Seth Rollins ends up being the fifth guy. Not a big surprise there. WWE might have trolled everybody earlier in the week when they showed a graphic of Sami Zayn being the fifth guy. Or perhaps they went ahead and just made a change. You just never know, and we'll see. But it turns out to be a troll, I think, because Sami Zayn, while not being in the Survivor Series card, which I think was a good call, he does get a prominent role on Survivor Series. He doesn't get in that 5-on-5 traditional match, but he does get a really good role, and we'll talk about that in a moment. The opening, though, I thought was pretty good. What is it with Stephanie McMahon? Sometimes she can look so good, and we know she works out like a fiend. If you follow her on Twitter, you see her damn workout videos every night with Triple H. Jesus Christ, midnight. They're just clanging and banging. It's crazy. But yet, tonight, I don't know. It's the dress. It's just everything. She looked like a giant Amazonian woman. It was like, she's still sexy. But still, I'm just saying. Just kind of weird. The heels were over all night. At least the cool heels were. Jericho, unbelievably over. It's amazing to me how over Chris Jericho is right now. Not to say that he doesn't deserve it, but it was, I love Chris Jericho. But it's just kind of weird to see how over he is with this gimmick, with all the weird, mannerisms and things that he's doing. This is what's getting over. It's a little bit surprising. Kevin Owens gets a really good pop. The one guy who really did get booed, even Braun Strowman didn't get booed as bad as Roman Reigns. I guess Scotland doesn't see what America is kind of seeing. They're getting a little bit more behind Roman. These type of reactions are not going to help Roman Reigns, but hopefully it will talk the WWE out of putting him back in a title hunt. Oh, because there's all kinds of rumors, and they are setting it up to look like Roman Reigns might be going back after the title. And, oh, my God, no. Not yet. So we did get the entire situation with everybody talking in the ring, which was fine. Nothing bad happened in it. I actually thought the opening was fairly decent, especially because it led to our main event, a Fatal 5-Way, which is different than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be Rollins and Owens versus Reigns and Rollins, and they didn't go that route, so that was nice that they made a little bit of a difference there. Not the same old predictable shit. I mean, this isn't the most creative thing in the world, but it is different, at least, than what we thought we were going to get. After that, the Cruiserweights, with their only appearance on the show, it was the first match of the night, which I am all for that, but it was a tag team match. Jesus, TJ Perkins, after taking that nasty bump last week, we don't know when he's going to be back, and this is the best they do. Instead of building somebody in singles competition or having a series of matches, they go ahead and just throw 4 guys into a tag match. Now, this was not a bad match by any stretch of the imagination. The only guy who did not get a televised entrance was Sin Cara, which should not be a big surprise. Apparently, he is in the doghouse. By the way, a little bit of an update on that situation with Sin Cara and Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho is refuting the fact that he got knocked out. He's not refuting the fact that he got into a fight, though. Just that he got knocked out. He's saying that did not happen. The most updated story that I've heard on the Sin Cara and Chris Jericho fight, and it's so detailed, and I've heard it from multiple sources now to where I'm leaning towards believing it, is Sin Cara was on the bus with a whole bunch of people making annoying noises. They asked him to stop. He didn't stop. Jericho got upset, went over and asked them more forcefully to stop. Sin Cara lost his goddamn mind, punched Chris Jericho. Jericho tried to retaliate, but they're on a bus, so they got pulled apart really quickly. As they were being pulled apart, Chris Jericho bit Sin Cara's finger, and then Sin Cara got thrown off the bus. That's the version that I've been hearing over and over today, so I hope it's true. I hope Chris bit the shit out of that guy. I really do. That's fantastic to me. But back to the Cruiserweight. Sin Cara did not get an opening, and I guess that makes a little bit of sense. The big one, Noam Dar. Holy crap. I mean, it makes all the sense in the world being a Scotland guy. They don't have a lot of Scottish people. And technically, he's not Scottish, but it is his adoptive home. He made his debut. And let me tell you, man, I don't know if this dude is necessarily ready, ready. But he's got a cool look. The fans loved him in his home country. That does not necessarily mean that's going to translate when he goes to Live 205 and all that stuff, or 205 Live, whatever the hell they're calling it. However, he's got badass music. He's got a really cool look, and he's got a counter style in the cruiserweight division. He's not a high flyer necessarily. He's more of a mat wrestling technician wizard type guy. And I think without having like a Zack Sabre, Jack Gallagher is the only other guy that they really have that fills that role as primarily that type of guy. And Noam Dar could be a really, really good person in that division. I like his entire package. I think that this guy's got some talent. So we'll see if that goes far. Really good debut. They set him up for success tonight, I think, in a lot of good ways. The Brian Kendrick continues to do his thing. The one real true standout in the cruiserweight division, I'm not sure if they're going to get past the TJP thing. It does seem like they are. They seem like they are building to something between Rich Swann and the Brian Kendrick, as Swann did get his second pinfall victory over Brian Kendrick. Brian does go on to somehow blame Noam Dar, but what are you going to do? And Dar gets the better of him, and they move on from there. After all of that, we got a very long, very long tag team situation. All of the tag teams came out, and they talked for, it felt like 20 minutes, 20, 25 minutes. Sheamus talked forever. Cesaro was slipping over lines. The club, God, Gallows and Anderson, as much as I like them, they do not do themselves any favor when they open their goddamn mouths. Goldust and R-Truth were there for some reason. Cass and Enzo did their thing, and they were very over for it. But my God, it took forever. By the time New Day finally did come out, it felt like a rescue, and the crowd absolutely ate them up, coming out there in the full Braveheart regalia. Big E trying to deliver the Braveheart speech and failing miserably, but it was very entertaining. It was far too long, but the crowd fucking ate it up. My God, did they eat that shit up. That was pretty impressive to me. But it was a fairly funny and entertaining angle. I mean, it was not the worst segment of the night by far, but it was long. That doesn't necessarily mean bad. It turns out Goldust and R-Truth had even less reason to be in that ring because they're not even in the Survivor Series match anymore. Nope. They're not. After the club get a victory over the New Day, we see that R-Truth sold his spot, their spot, his and Goldust's spot in the Survivor Series match for a timeshare to the Shining Stars. God, they just two tag teams that don't even need to exist. Just unbelievable how they just misuse these guys over and over. All the build-up for the Shining Stars, and they were just con men. It's so stupid. Oh, God. So it ends up being the Shining Stars getting the victory over Golden Truth to retain their spot. They get the spot at Survivor Series. You guys know I don't interrupt for much, but we do have one rule on this channel. You guys know it above all else. When this guy calls, I pick up. Because he's my good friend. He is the Baron of the most beautiful positivity on all of YouTube. He's my good buddy. He is Tommy Talk's very own. It's Tommy NC 2010. What's going on, my friend? All the way from North Kakalaki.
This is a reference from Team 4-Star. I love it when people rub the shaft.
Well, that's random as fuck. But hey, welcome. What's up?
I just want to say I thought Raw was decent. Little bits and pieces that I watched tonight as I was hanging out with my friend. But I thought I really think that they really are kind of they could be having this match with Lesnar and Goldberg at another setup, in my opinion. I think they could honestly wait for WrestleMania.
Hold on one second, buddy. Katan Punzal donated $10. Keep up the great work, Dave. You're the best on YouTube. Hey, man, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Tommy, to what you just said, I don't think that it's a very good idea at all to have this match at WrestleMania, and I'll tell you why. They're trying to rebuild Survivor Series. That's the first thing. And this is one way of doing that. You get a marquee matchup. Plus, we don't know if it's going to work. I don't think they know it's going to work. These two have already failed together at WrestleMania, so I don't think you put them at WrestleMania yet. If they have an epic or at least good match at Survivor Series, because Lesnar's winning. I mean, there's no question Lesnar is winning this match. If it's decent, then they set up the rubber match to determine who's the ultimate winner of the 1-1 tie, and they could do that at WrestleMania. I don't think you do this one there because of all the reasons that I just stated, but please continue.
I have to say that what was it? Oh, jeez, yes. Blah, 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 blah. Also, Dave, can you see my camera? What stuff I have here in front of me, by the way?
I can, but no one else can.
If you want to, yeah, I could pull me up on the screen. And I could.
No, I don't have an extra screen for that. I don't have Skype. I don't do that. You know that. Come on, man. I know that you really want to plug yourself. I get that, and I'll do it for you. Tommy is holding up signs for his because the guy doesn't have enough fucking subs. I guess I don't know. The movie review. Nobody Cares by Funktaculous, which is apparently Tommy NC's new song, his alter ego Funktaculous, and the Food Dude Review Crew with Tommy and Hamza. He wants to get all three of them in there, and he was trying to do it with words, but print is dead, Tommy. Print is dead. If you want something done, you got to say it out loud. Don't cackle at me, man. I don't want to be cackled at. Nobody likes being cackled at. But there you go, Tommy.
You know, one of the biggest matches are going to be happening tomorrow. One of the biggest matches of the century. And it's going to be one of the biggest bouts of the century. Hillary Clinton versus Donald Trump. Those two are going to step in the ring, and they're going to beat the crap out of each other. Now, that's how I'd like to see the presidency fought over. We vote.
Really, you want to see Thunderdome for who runs the country?
Yes, I think Donald Trump. Honestly, I think he probably, if he was to fight her, I think
he'd kill her. No, he'd kill her. There's a video of her getting off a plane tonight where she's like, she had to be carried to the plane. Basically, her legs were given out. She's sick, man. She's trying to hide it because that's what she does. She's a goddamn liar. One of the worst candidates. She's a worse candidate than Donald Trump, and that's saying a whole hell of a lot. But she hides everything. She lies about everything. The woman is actually sick. There's almost no question about it. But, you know, what else? He would kill her in a fight. Kill her.
You know who we need for president, folks? We need tomorrow when you go to vote, remember this, vote in Dead on Dave or Tommy NC 2010.
I'll let you be my vice president, man. I think I got to run shit. Just because of who I am. I know me, and I couldn't be your vice president because I'd kill myself. But I think you'd be a fantastic. You make me do all kinds of weird shit. You try to get me to do weird shit now. But you would make a fantastic vice president. I love that. By the way, Tommy, for the last couple of hours when they're tallying up all of the votes and everything, I'm going to be live on this channel, getting reactions, talking to the people, seeing what they think about this election process, see who they want to win, their reactions if their guy or gal does in fact win, the agony of defeat, the chaos. Maybe we're going to get suicides on the air. You never know. People are going to lose their minds. People are leaving the country. People are doing all kinds of crazy shit. Who knows what will happen? And I'm going to be here live for that because I got to be a part of that shit. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah, like the most epic showdown of the century.
Because it's so bad. Because the showdown's so bad. It's just, it's a bad showdown.
If Vince McMahon was booking this match, he probably would do something ridiculous or have either have Hillary dress up like a chicken or have Donald Trump dress up like a luchador or something like that.
That's what knowing I'm talking how
about. Me and Dave had a private conversation once about a particular wrestler, and he was like, "Wow, Tommy, that's too much."
Because you're always that might as well be your last goddamn name, Tommy. Tommy, too much friggin' NC 2010. I almost said your real last name. All right, but look, buddy, let me get to some other callers. Let me finish the rest of the review. You got anything else you want to tell the kids? Go ahead and tell them about your 3 projects that you got going on.
Well,
because I love you.
I have movie review. The Food Dude Review Crew. Yeah. We have Funktaculous. We haven't really made any songs recently, but we're going to get back on the hog, and we're going to start running that piggy everywhere we can go.
That's we're not talking about Dead on Dave. That's a lot. Now, you know, what do? I am so nice to you. And I was going to give you credit for making a whole bunch of swine type isms there, and then you go ahead and you say that I'm a fat, disgusting pig. No, Dave, you're a good guy.
You
called me a big pig, Tommy, but it's okay. I'm fat, but I'm still thinner than you, buddy. I'm thinner than you.
I'm just joking with you, Dave. I'm trying to lose weight, dude.
I would never take anything you said to me offensively, dude. I love you to death. You know that. You could kick me in the balls, and I probably wouldn't mind too much. I love you to death. You know that. Tommy, I appreciate your call as always. Make sure you check out my man Tommy NC 2010 over on the channel on YouTube. Over 100 and some odd thousand subscribers. He's also been on Comedy Central's Tosh.0 as well as MTV's Made. He's got a great movie out there you can still find by the name of Oddball. He's my good buddy. Love him like a brother. Tommy, thank you so much for being here, pal.
And also, Dave, there's after the show, you need to give me a call. We got to talk about something.
I'm going to bed. I might call you. I probably won't. I'm exhausted. I'll talk to you tomorrow. You don't make demands of Dead on Dave. Dead on Dave makes demands of you. All right? I'll talk to you soon, buddy.
Okay, boy.
No, don't do that. No. That was Tommy NC, everybody. Holy shit. Sarah Small, Dave, you are sexy. Oh. Thank you. I appreciate that. Nipples. All right. Where were we before we were interrupted? That's right. Yes. I like the little interaction that we got from Sami Zayn and Stephanie McMahon. I did like it. I don't think there's going to be much there in the future, but I do like their interactions, I should say. And we see that we're going to get Sami Zayn and Rusev later on the night. It's no question to me that there is a serious thing happening with both of these guys. Rusev is being strategically buried. After losing the United States Championship, Rusev could have been thrust into the main storyline. He wasn't. In fact, all he's been doing is losing since, and now he's lost to Sami Zayn for the rights to take on Dolph Ziggler for the Intercontinental Championship at Survivor Series, which I think is going to steal the show. I mean, big shocker, it's Dolph Ziggler, but that match is going to be friggin' amazing. And I got a feeling Sami might get the victory here. We're hearing all of these things about, everyone's complaining about the use of Sami Zayn. I've tried to tell people to stay patient. I felt like there was something more going on, and it seems like that could be the case. Now, I could be wrong, of course, but we'll see what happens with that. Fairly interesting. After that, it was one of those moments that was so bad but epic at the same time. The women's team, the women's Survivor Series team was announced. Charlotte really was awful tonight. Look, I'm going to give people a little bit of leeway tonight in that segment because Bayley fans just took it over, said fuck everybody else. But even before it, Charlotte was awful. Charlotte doesn't know how to react. She tried, though. I'll give her, you know what? I will give her a little bit of props because she tried to talk back to the crowd. It just didn't work. And that was probably the one thing that she did best in that entire thing. But there was so much else that she did bad throughout that segment that it kind of canceled each other out. Sasha was really good, realizing that the moment was not about her and singing along with the crowd to Bayley. I thought was a really nice touch. Alicia Fox, I have no idea why she's in this match. Could have easily been Dana Brooke, but whatever. What's the point of building Dana Brooke? We'll just leave her off Survivor Series match. Screw it. They've only been building her the past friggin' 2-3 months, but what are you going to do? Alicia Fox is in the match, mainly probably because of her connection with Nia Jax, who is looking petrifying. She took a triple drop kick from inside to outside of the ring, and it barely moved her. Man, she is scary. I really like Nia Jax, and she's sexy as hell too. I'm sorry, I like big women. What can I say? Overall, the match and the segment, it was epic because of the crowd. But if you look at the substance of it, it was fairly ugly. It was fairly ugly. Bayley was the one saving grace of that entire situation, and then Sasha, going along with it. But stop me if you think I'm wrong here. But Lord have mercy, does Sasha need to be heel? I mean, I like her and everything as face, but I love her as a heel. I liked when she made little, what's her name, the little kid, Bailey's fan, whatever the hell her name is, when she made her cry and stole her Barrettner. Oh, that was great. Oh, that's the Sasha I want. Charlotte, I still don't know, man. Sometimes she impresses me so much, and then she just drops it. Charlotte, just put it on my face, neck, and chest, man. It's okay. Just give it to me all the time. Stop. I don't know if you're second-guessing yourself. I don't know if you're just not that talented. I have no idea. But she's so inconsistent. I don't know. We'll see. As we did talk about, Sami Zayn beat Rusev in a fairly good match. It was not a terrible match. The best part of it, though, was probably Miss Lana, who is getting all kinds of pops because, God, is Lana fine. She called Scotland America. It's not good. They don't like that. And she didn't even acknowledge it. To her credit, you could tell that she realized what she did, and I think she was really upset by it, but she didn't try to correct it. She just went with it, so that's what you got to do sometimes. All right, let's talk about the main event, the Fatal 5-Way. I think it was the most entertaining match of the night. As far as actual match, it was a great match. I thought it was a lot of fun. A lot of great spots. Everybody got some good offense in. Braun Strowman got made to look like the beast that he is. That is until he inexplicably just laid on a table and allowed somebody to get powerbombed through him, and then that somehow took him out for 5 minutes. It was very weird. Braun has a lot of growing to do. Braun's got a lot of potential. He's got a lot of upside. He's a big guy. He's fast. He's nimble. He's athletic. I do like what he does. But man, he is so green. Still he is so green. When is he going to get that shit together? I have no idea. But all in all, certainly not a terrible main event. The ending was weird. The ending was strange. I know why they did it. They're still setting up the possibility of Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho, and hopefully that is where they will go after Survivor Series. Because please not Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens. My God, please do not let that happen. But I still believe that that's where they're going. Chris Jericho, somewhere in there with Kevin Owens, maybe another guy involved. But it's definitely going to happen. And situations like this where Kevin Owens pins him, it's coming. So there you go. There you have it. There's my review. We went through everything. We talked about it. Let's go ahead and do things scientifically. I know it's been a while since I've been doing the live reactions. You guys are going to get used to me being back on for the live reactions all the time, and that's great. I'm very excited about that. But you know how we do things here. We got standards. We don't mess around. We got standards that we live by. We got the Dead on Dave review standards to help us determine if it was a good show, bad show, or indifferent show. So let's go ahead and do that now. The audio commentary tonight, probably the best part of the show. I got to be honest, aside from Byron Saxton, who I do believe is a natural -3 on every show that he's on, I thought commentary was very solid, other than Byron Saxton, who multiple times tonight, Byron Saxton tried to take the emphasis off of the match that he was calling and then back on the Goldberg and Lesnar, which I would expect out of Michael Cole because he is guiding the ship at the end of the day. However, Michael was quick to kind of bring it back to the match because that's what you're supposed to do. Byron's got a lot of learning. He is not a good announcer. Great interviewer, horrible announcer. So overall, we're going to give the audio, the commentary, a 7 for tonight. Production, thought was great. Great. For a Glasgow show, for a Scotland show, they were able to have all their amazing production stuff. We got great packages out of Goldberg and Lesnar. We saw the perspective from both of their angles. However, production also has to do with time management, and that was a big problem tonight. I feel time management and how they produced segments was a big problem. Promos and vignettes went on far too long. There was nowhere near enough emphasis on what happened in the ring to really make it stand out. They had a lot of problems, and for that, I'm going to have to go relatively low for production. And it's not just because of the look of the show. The look was fine, but it was how they produced the content tonight. I'm going to give it a 6. I was very disappointed with how they produced their stuff. Their time management was awful tonight. Let's talk about some of those promos and vignettes. As good as the vignettes were, I thought, for Bill Goldberg and Brock Lesnar, some does have to get taken into account that neither one of them really was different from the other in many ways. In fact, we saw some of the same footage in both of their packages that just didn't make sense. So that was a problem. Promos were really hit or miss tonight. The only reason why they were somewhat tolerable for the most part was how good the crowd was. But the substance that we got was not good. So promos and vignettes, we're going to throw another 6 on there, okay? And that leads us to wrestling. It's a wrestling show, so this should be the most important part of a show, right? It is pretty important. Unfortunately, of everything that we just talked about, the wrestling was probably the least impressive. The only thing that we saw tonight, wrestling-wise, that was truly memorable would be the main event. And even that had its issues. We saw a lot of greenness get exposed about Braun Strowman and a very wonky ending. But overall, the match was solid. It's not enough to really save the entire night, but it certainly did have some great moments in it. Some of the other matches weren't awful, but nothing great. So wrestling, I'm going to go relatively low. I'm going to go at a 5. It didn't do it for me. So we add all that together, gives us a 24. And of course, how averages work is we divide it by 4, and that gives us a total of a 6, which I think is about right, but I don't feel it's a very strong 6. You know what I mean? So I'm going with a 6, somewhere between a 5.5 to a 6. That's what it feels like to me. All right, well, there you go. There's my review in full. I have nothing more to say on the matter. So let's put it to you guys. It's your show now, folks. However long we go from this point on is on you. So let's go ahead and open up them phone lines. You can go ahead and call in on Skype. David Vancura, DAVIDVANCURA. Of course, the number 702-751-2902. Love to hear from you. Love to get all of your thoughts on tonight, but make sure no matter what you do, you hit that like button, all right? I want you to get it wet and stick it on it and go ahead. You know what? If you're alone and you want to do something a little freaky with the like button, I mean, you want to like rub your gens on it or whatever, I ain't going to tell nobody. I'm your friend. I'm your buddy. I'm your pal. I'm going to tell nobody. It's secret safe with me, all right? Make sure you hit it and subscribe to the channel. We're almost at 3,600. In fact, we may have passed 3,600. In fact, let me check that now before we get to this phone call, because if so, I want to, do a little celebration. We're not over 3,600 yet, but maybe we'll get there. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. All right, 480, you're live with Dead on Dave. How'd you like that pit pin cover by your boy, Kevin Owens?
I really enjoyed that ending. You're probably going to hate me for that, but I liked it.
It wasn't a terrible ending. I mean, you knew that they were going to go with something wonky with Owens and Jericho. It was an interesting way to get there. It's not Owens' fault that Reigns botched that fucking Superman punch.
Yeah, is he really going after the title?
That was the rumor, but after tonight, I'm not so sure. If he does, he'll definitely be in there with both Jericho and Owens.
I wouldn't mind that. I think that could be a solid triple threat. But Jericho and Owens, I don't think anybody. No, I mean Owens and Roman. I don't think anybody wants to see that.
No.
Yeah.
They'll get booed out of the building.
Definitely would. And can you imagine if Reigns gets both titles? Jesus Christ.
I'll kill myself.
Good God.
That'll be it. I'll be done. I will not be able to live in this world any longer. I just cannot be in that world any longer.
Yeah, to me, it should just be Jericho and Owens at Roadblock. That's what I would do.
It makes sense. It's not a long feud. It's something that's had a long build. Only needs one match. Roadblock makes all the sense in the world for those two.
Owens could get a clean win over Jericho as well. That'd be good for him.
It would be. I agree.
Yeah. I really enjoyed the match. I thought it was good, and that's really the only positive thing I could say about the show. Everything else didn't really do anything for me. It was just kind of a boring night. Really was.
Boring's not the right word for me. I don't feel that I was bored, and I was really exhausted. I'm still up. It's almost 6 o'clock in the morning. I've yet to be asleep. I've been up all night for this, and usually I'm dragging ass. I'm trying to find ways out of the show, but I was fairly entertained throughout the night, and I don't know if it could have just been delirium, to be fair, but who knows. Regardless, what's your rating for tonight? You heard the scientific method give us a big, solid 6, even though it's more of a soft 6 for me, but it is what it is. What's your rating?
Give it a 5. It was fine. Yeah, what didn't really do anything for me.
Agreed. All right, buddy. I appreciate the call. You have yourself a good night.
You too.
Peace. All right. I saw some other people calling. Make sure you go ahead and get them calls in. We go a couple seconds here without a call. I'm going to get the hell up out of here because my eye keeps closing. I don't know if you noticed this, but I'm like, I don't know if I'm having a stroke. It would be my second. I hope not. I've lost a bunch of weight to try and, not have another stroke. But my eye keeps closing. I think it's out of exhaustion. Barely keep this goddamn eye open. It's awful. But we'll take some more calls and then we're going to get up out of here. Let's see. Daniel Price says, Dave, did your Vader cap help you find the droids you were looking for? Dave always finds the droids he's looking for. Daniel Price also says, there's talk of Jay Lethal going to NXT. I hope he stays in Ring of Honor. There's been talks of Lethal going to NXT for a long time. From what I understood, a while back, he did sign a long contract with Ring of Honor, so I don't know if that's going to be the case. I'm sure Lethal would like to at some point, but we'll see what he wants to do. We will see what he decides to do there. Hey, if you guys want to get some great Copious gear, make sure you go check out my merchandise store, deadondave.spreadshirt.com. Okay, we got some great stuff there. It's getting cold. Get a hoodie. Get a Dead on Dave hoodie. Let's take another call. CSGO Gambling. You're live with Dead on Dave. What you got?
All right. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't really watch wrestling too much anymore, but I used to a lot.
Okay.
I have a simple question. All right. Who is your favorite wrestler of all time?
I am a true and blue Shawn Michaels man. I think he's the greatest in-ring performer to ever do it. It's not even close to me. For a long time, it was Ric Flair. Then Rick went to TNA and just kind of ruined it for me. And ever since then, it's been hands down Shawn Michaels. But Ric Flair's still in the conversation.
What? It's Shawn Michaels?
Oh, yeah.
I thought I always you were like an Edge guy. I loved Edge. I cried
like
when
Edge.
he left.
Oh, I love Edge. Don't get me wrong. But if you see behind me, if you look right behind me, you'll see a shirt, a T-shirt, actually a towel shirt to be exact. I caught that when I was in Iraq back in 2007 in Tikrit, Iraq. I caught it from Shawn Michaels' hand. It was that tribute to the troops. I caught it from Shawn Michaels' very hand. You can actually go on and watch it, and you can see me catch it and wear it. I'm all over that show. Pretty cool stuff. And then I got him and Triple H to sign it after the show. It was awesome.
Oh, okay. I see why now. Like, if you just got a souvenir from him.
Well, that's not the reason why I'm his fan. I've always been a Shawn Michaels guy because he's an incredible in-ring performer. I mean, the best I've ever seen. It's him and Flair. It's so close between them. But I have a lot more respect for Shawn because after his retirement, he didn't bastardize himself like Rick did. So for me, it's Shawn. But you can certainly make the case for Rick. I think Edge is in the conversation as far as greatest of all time, up there in the top 15. I don't know if you want to go much higher than that. I mean, there's so many legends in the business, but Edge had a very nice career.
All right. Well, that's it. That was it for me.
Hey, I appreciate the call, man. Have yourself a really good night.
All right, you too.
Take it here, bud. That was good. That was nice. What a nice guy. Oh, God, I'm tired. Okay. Sarah Small says, I want Joe and Rude on SmackDown. Casey McLaughlin. He needs to go to SmackDown and feud with Styles again. I wouldn't mind that too much, I got to be honest. Daniel Price, Casey, look at the dodgy call. Vince would shit book him, maybe. Casey McLaughlin, Nakamura needs to be brought up. I think you're 100% right. You know me. I am a freak for Nakamura. That's my man. I want him up too, but who knows when that's going to happen. Let's take another call. It's my good friend and my good buddy and the creator of tomorrow night's Election Day graphics, my good friend. It's Gun Cannon from Gun Cannon 15 on YouTube. I looked at the screen and it's staring at me. I didn't say 17 this time. Gun Cannon 15 on YouTube, and he's on Twitch. He's doing all kinds of things. He makes some stuff for me now. He's amazing. What's going on, buddy?
It was an alright show, I guess. There were points that just I couldn't watch. I had to literally go find something else to do. It was a
lot of meh. It was meh.
Yeah.
A lot of meh.
Yeah. There was definitely a lot of meh. I will say I did watch a couple of the behind the scenes things after the whole tag team interaction, and what happened with Xavier Woods and the bagpipes had to have been hilarious.
Oh God, absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, he was backstage and they were trying to show him, well, you have to fill the bag and all of that, and they couldn't do it. And he's like asking someone, "Do you know how to do this?" And not a person backstage.
Who the fuck knows how to fill bagpipes, man?
You would think in Scotland at least there'd be somebody.
Yeah, but the crew is probably all Americans. I don't know if the crew is Scottish people.
Well, there were guys back there that they had the Scottish accent, so.
Oh,
but
fuck me.
I also came out of that whole situation with Gallows and Anderson is definitely being mishandled. I feel like they're being so mishandled, it's ridiculous.
The problem with that statement is, while I do agree, they got issues, man. They cannot talk at all. And you know what? As much as I do like you know, I've been supportive of these guys for a long time. I think they're a fantastic tag team. But I don't know if they've just been dumbed down. I don't know, but God, their ring work is becoming. I think they're bored. I think they're over it. I think that they have checked out mentally. That's what it seems like recently, because things aren't going well for them right now.
I have to get behind that 100% because, I mean, when they were in Japan, they were running roughshod.
Yeah, they were.
Absolutely running roughshod. And then they get here and everything just changes. And it's completely, I think that's the big thing. I think their chemistry and everything has gotten thrown off, and now they just don't know what to do.
Separating them from AJ was a mistake. Not without Finn Balor coming in. I mean, they had a built storyline, and I understand the brand split needed, you know, people going, but there's no reason why that entire faction couldn't have went to one roster. It's just, it's so desperately needed to happen, and it's failing, and they're failing because of it. Look, you go back to Japan, and you got those amazing, amazing Gallows and Anderson matches that they had. They were the best tag team in the world. When they were in Japan, you can make that argument. They were the best in the world.
Yeah, absolutely. And this transitioning back into the WWE just,
not working.
They went flat.
Yeah.
They went absolutely flat.
It's what it is, man. It's crazy.
Yeah.
You got anything else for me, Mr. Gunn?
Well, main event was the main event. I agree. They're totally setting up Owens and Jericho, and maybe hopefully the rest of the trip, you know, Sin Cara will keep his mouth shut, or he's gonna have to Uber the fucker on Europe.
I think he's done. I got a feeling that he's gonna be released very soon.
Yeah,
if that fight's true, I got a feeling he's gonna be released very soon. It's odd he didn't get an intro tonight. I mean, Jericho's saying he did not get knocked out, but he did not deny the fight. So, and the latest reports is he bit Sin Cara's finger. I love that. Hope that's true.
That's fantastic.
Yeah,
That's fantastic.
I am exhausted. I got to be honest, man. So let me wrap this thing up. I appreciate you being here for me, though, buddy.
Not a problem. Have a good night, man.
All right, pal. Take it easy. That was Gun Cannon. Check him out on Gun Cannon 15 right here on the YouTubes and on Twitter as well. Well, my friends, my peoples, this is the last chance if you want to call in. If you want to have a good time with the Copious Fat Man, you got to do it now. It's now or never. It's now or never. My fat ass won't wait. I'm tired. I want to get some schlafen. That's German for sleep, motherfuckers. That's what that's German for. The entire thing, not just sleep. Sleep, motherfuckers. It's very important that you say it that way. So, we get another call during here, me wrapping all this up. That's fantastic. I'll take the call. If not, I'm just going to take my big ass to bed. We got a very exciting month of content. We got a good week coming up. We're going to have our first ever WrestleCrate UK unboxing. Yes, I have gone to WrestleCrate now, and in fact, I might be having a little bit of conversation with WrestleCrate. I don't want to say anything, but it's who knows? Maybe I can convince them if we get enough views on the unboxings. Maybe I can convince them to do something a little more formal with the channel, sponsorship deal, something. I think we can make it happen. I think we're getting bigger now. We're over 1,000 subs on Twitter. We're about to hit 3,600 subscribers on YouTube. So lots of good stuff happening. So maybe we can get some kind of a thing with WrestleCrate UK. It's the UK edition. It is different than the American edition, but still pretty cool stuff. And I can't wait to get my first box. It's very appropriate for the channel, and I can't wait to do it. We got the election tomorrow night. I'm going to be live reactioning the shit out of that. That's going to be fun. UFC 205 on Saturday. Of course, we got other wrestling programs throughout the rest of the week. We're slam-packed. We're 2 weeks away from Survivor Series. The channel is just going to be loaded with stuff. So I hope you guys are here, for all of it. And I do appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I understand there's Monday Night Football going on, so maybe there's not as many people as I would have liked, but hey, that's okay. The ones that are here, I'm very appreciative of it. So thank you guys very much for joining me right here on Dead on Dave Productions. Like, subscribe, and share, and as always, if you don't have talent, have talented friends like all the people on my featured channels list on the main page. Check them out. They're all amazing. Tommy C., Jeff Duff Huffman, Grand Slam 87, Tommy NC 2010, who you heard here earlier tonight. All of these great guys. Hope you check them out. Real Talk Metaphor Messiah, the official musician of Dead on Dave Productions. As always, special thanks to Sal, the Copious graphics guru, for all that he has bestowed upon me. Thank you guys very much. We'll see you next time. Keep it copious. And peace.